Through the first 44 games of this NBA season, Rudy Gobert did not play in 26 of them, and the Utah Jazz's season looked perilously close to lost. However, things in this league change in a heartbeat, and as soon as the Stifle Tower got back on the court, things in Utah changed dramatically. Riding a 10-game winning streak, they're back in the playoff hunt, just a game and a half behind 8th place New Orleans, and just traded away Rodney Hood for a really good fit in Jay Crowder, and playing like a team that no one wants to meet. Let's start by looking at Gobert's effect on the offense. I know, he's their defensive anchor, but it's time to get woke on what he does for their scoring. He sets really good ball screens that consistently get his guards in advantageous positions. And on this drive, Nurkic is so worried about the dump off for a dunk to Gobert, he allows O'Neal a close-range floater. And the roll to the hoop doesn't have to be off a ball screen. Here he gets Donovan Mitchell open with the flare screen, then rolls, and there isn't anyone in the NBA tall enough to contest his close shots at the rim. While these tend to be more anomalies than something to count on, Gobert has piqued my curiosity by making a couple of jump shots, which could very well be a thing at some point in his career. There's also been a symbiosis with the French rejection and Joe Ingles, who we'll cover next. The Jazz utilized the handoff the fourth most of any team, and another example of a ball screen that erases Ingles' man, and Nurkic is so worried about the lob that Ingles gets right to the hoop for the layup. Another way he gets separation for his guards is for the back to the defender screen, a good way to create contact and avoid getting called for a foul. And this opens up the shot for Ingles in the corner, who's shooting a ridiculous 55.7% from 3 since Gobert came back. And it's not like he's only taken a few. In this 13-game stretch, he's shooting over 6 a game, and the Jazz offense has been trying to get even more by using this elevator action with 2 screeners closing the doors behind him for the open look. And look at the spacing they're getting when they put him in the weak side corner. With Mitchell collapsing the D and Ingles' height, it doesn't matter if Batum gets there or not. If you want to get your shooter open, have him back screen a cutter and then set a pin down for him. Ingles reads the floor beautifully, flare cutting to the corner and another open look. More handoff action, and if you go under it and hope the guard can contest, forget about it. He's shooting over anybody under 6'6". But that's not what makes him so dangerous in their offense. It's when they get him running the pick and roll. On this Horns action, he gets a double ball screen from the point guard and Gobert, and notice the Gobert gravity keeps Nurkic at bay, allowing him a layup. The handoff action acts the same way as the ball screen does, and Jingles and Gobert have developed good chemistry. And here's why Nurkic was worried about the pass back to his man. And that left elbow is a ring of activity for these two, as they get virtually the same play when Dwight can't do anything but foul for the and one. Head coach Quinn Snyder has been throwing out lineups around Gobert that basically force the other team to defend Ingles with a guard. And here's another back screen for the cutter into handoff action that gets Ingles going downhill. Ed Davis is paranoid about the pass back to Rudy, so Jingles just throws the Manu highlight pass to a wide open Crowder in the corner. The Jazz offense is a ballet of movement and cutting as they use Gobert as the hub of their wheel. After Mitchell cuts off him, Ingles comes around for the handoff and Dwight gets sucked into Gobert gravity, giving up another layup to Jingles. Quite frankly, running Ingles as the ball handler in the pick and roll, especially when they screen with Gobert, is a nightmare for teams, as Ingles is crafty quick and bigger, slower centers can't keep up with him. The Jazz moved up from 18th in offensive efficiency to 5th, and 14th to 3rd on defense since Gobert's return, so it's natural you'd want to go see a game in person and get in on all the fun. And there's no better way to get tickets than by using the SeatGeek app. I got tickets to Hamilton recently and it was really easy. There are grades for each ticket to know you're getting a really good deal. You can see the vantage point from your seat. It takes only a couple of taps, and the tickets are fully guaranteed. Best of all, when you use my code BBall, you'll save $20 off your first purchase. So download the SeatGeek app now, find tickets to see Gobert, Rubio, and Mitchell at a great price, use my code BBall to save even more money, and you'll be as hot as Ricky Rubio has been from behind the three-point arc, a scorching 47% on almost 3 attempts per game. Since he's not known as a shooter, teams will ignore him in the corner, and he's finally making them pay. Even though I'm concerned about his mechanics, here his rhythm is off when he doesn't dip enough and brings his arms up before he begins to bend his legs down. However, when you've got 2 seconds or more to catch and shoot, you can make these. Teams have been rotating off of him and then not closing back out, daring him to shoot it, and it appears as if you can't do that anymore. While teams will still go under every ball screen for him, we're starting to see evidence of success off the dribble too. Maybe we're going to see the full version of Ricky Rubio we've all been waiting for since he was a rookie. Speaking of rookies, Donovan Mitchell has been a beast all season. A complete revelation, making the departure of Gordon Hayward a lot easier to swallow. In fact, I had Jazz beat writer Tony Jones of the Salt Lake Tribune on the podcast today, and he had his own take on the difference between the two players.
I don't think that Donovan Mitchell right now, this version of Donovan Mitchell is better than last year's version of Gordon Hayward as an all-around player. But I absolutely think that he's a better closer than Gordon Hayward's ever been.
I covered a lot of what makes him special in my breakdown of his 41-point game back in December, so check that out. But he's continued to be a clutch performer, the rare rookie go-to guy, and he's been coming through for the Jazz exactly when they need him. He can do it all, run the pick and roll for them, finish at the rim, and knock down threes at a league average rate. If he doesn't win Rookie of the Year, it'll be a shame, because he certainly deserves it. Credit goes to Quinn Snyder for building a selfless, pass-happy offense that tries to spread you out and break you down by forcing rotations. And it leads to some of the prettier kind of actions you'll see in the NBA. As for their defense, I'm not telling you anything new when I say that Gobert is a defense unto himself. That said, everyone is active. Check how Ingles' slight step in a direction thwarts the drive, and when Murray gets to the middle on this curl, Gobert is there to simply eliminate all record of a shot being taken. While he might not be fast enough to stay with guards when he has to switch out on them off the pick and roll, he is long enough to recover and block their shots when they think they've got a layup. And it's not just staying with the guard off the pick and roll, he covers so much ground he can switch to the ball handler, then get back to the roll man to swat that stuff out of there too. They can drop him down in ice defense to contain, and he's an expert at jumping backwards to contest, block the shot, and not get called for a foul. But it's not just Gobert, everyone is buying in. Communicating switches well and moving their feet to prevent middle drives is also huge. Check the O'Neal switch onto Manu, keeping him out of the middle. Donovan Mitchell denying the pass to his man, and Neto riding Parker out of the lane into a tough fall-away mid-range shot. More O'Neal incredibleness as he stops Manu cold on this attempt to tie the game, then switches and does the same exact thing on Kyle Anderson, basically winning the game single-handedly for the Utah Jazz against the Spurs the other night. Ricky Rubio is also an excellent defender. Check how he covers for Ingles on this switch. Everyone is moved together on a string, and it completely thwarts the attack in a key moment of this game, leading to a contested long three that bricks. More good hustle from Rubio to hedge high, and Ingles to sprint to contain the drive with his long arms. Ingles traps the ball in the corner by denying the pass back out. Then Rubio again hustles around to get in good position and force the miss. These guys simply don't quit on a play, and are hard to get a body on to screen. While Ingles does get caught on this screen a little bit, he still gets there to contest right at the release and influence this miss. And Gobert makes a game-saving play by sprinting out to the three-point line to contest the three-pointer, knowing the clock was working against the Pistons. So there you have it, sports fans. Utah Jazz are currently the hottest team in the NBA, and have gotten themselves back in contention for a playoff spot. If they do make it, it'll be by virtue that they've stayed hot down the stretch. And if that's the case, I can guarantee you no one will want to play them in the first round. Sports fans, To see more of our great NBA content and analysis, make sure to hit the subscribe button, but also click the bell and adjust your settings so you can get an alert the second our videos drop. Because trust me, you're going to want them hot and fresh. You in?